Hey, I'm Bryson, and these are the answers to the questions for the Agentic product engineer role. So, for reducing customer service call volume, my first 2 weeks would really be about listening. Day one, I would sit on the phones with customer service as someone trying to learn what students are actually calling about. So by the end of the week, I'd have a categorized breakdown of the top reasons that people call, ranked by volume and by customer service time burned per that category. So in parallel, I would also sit down with people from across the business, customer service lead, operations, instructors, and I would ask them all the same question. Where does the training experience confuse students? And those answers won't fully match. And somewhere in between is that gap. And that's where the real problem usually lives. And so by week two, I'd expect the data to show a Pareto pattern, as in two or three categories driving most of the call volume. And so I would take the highest leverage category and then implement a solution for that category. That solution could be code, it could be a proactive email to trainees, it could be a edit to a training session like a landing page or one of the pages for one of the certificates. And so that's how I would reduce call volume in the first 2 weeks. A time that the right answer turned out not to be code. I do AI consulting for a medical clinic called the Recovery Center in Kennesaw. Booking, invoice processing, patient data parsing, and other operations of the medical clinic. And so when I started, my instinct was to build them custom software. And then I just sat at the front desk for a day and I watched what was actually happening. And the bottleneck wasn't the lack of software, it was that information was getting hand translated from one tool and into another tool. And so they had the systems and they had the data, but they didn't have the connective tissue between the two. And so I scrapped a custom build completely and I put together a set of N8N workflows, wiring the existing tools together. It took a fraction of the time, it cost almost nothing, and then also the staff didn't have a software product that was dependent on me. Now, as a person that was building it for them, it would probably be good for my job security to build a application that would be dependent on me. But for their business, they needed their staff to be able to operate independently without the person that built them the software. And so that experience reinforced something that I keep coming back to. In the agentic era, the leverage is really, it's not really writing code anymore. It's seeing the system and then seeing the system clearly enough to know which levers to pull. I'm interested in this role because CPR training is the kind of product where doing the work better has a direct and traceable impact on surviving cardiac events. Secondly, the philosophy and the job description, the line about slop isn't the way forward and knowing when not to build, that matches how I already think. At Answer Rocket, I shipped agents to production, but I'd spent just as much time building evaluation rubrics, triaging outputs, as I did writing actual code. And so most of the leverage in agentic systems isn't in the model, it's in the context, it's in the evaluation and the human judgment around it. And so, third, the shape of the role itself is very interesting to me. Sitting inside the business, building relationships across the teams, owning outcomes instead of just tickets. That's the role I've been trying to cultivate for myself in my own work. And the chance to do that inside a growing company with real autonomy is genuine. And so I'd rather work on the right problem with the right philosophy than more of a technical problem at just any company.